Hey NASCAR, I got one thing to ask you. What in the fuck was that?
Whoa!
Can't even fucking believe this shit, man. I'm so fucking pissed off.
What's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan, and welcome to today's edition of The Fuel. First episode of the new year. Wish it would have been a lot better race to review than this shit that we just saw. I just saw a little while ago, which was the Busch Clash at Daytona. More like the Busch Ass or the Busch Crash. That's exactly what this fucking race was. Like, what the fuck did I see today in the Busch Clash as I'm recording this? Like, I have no words. I literally have no fucking words to describe just the absolute fucking stupidity that I saw in this race today. What a fucking embarrassment this race was to NASCAR today. Of course, I've been seeing a lot of people, online saying, "Oh, it was an entertaining race." You know what, mate? Obviously, a lot of these people are thinking it was entertaining because of the crashes, which I don't pay any attention to the opinions of them fuckheads anyway. Because if you honestly thought this race was entertaining because of the crashes, then you're in the wrong fucking sports, sunshine. Because this race was nothing but fucking bullshit. I mean, this fucking race needs to be removed entirely, honestly. It serves no fucking purpose anymore. It has become a shell of its previous self. Ever since they moved it to Sunday afternoons, it's gone down the fucking shitter. And it is just not the race that I used to watch and love, throughout the 2000s. I would watch those races with bated breath because they were legitimately entertaining because there was good hard racing in those races, not this pile of fucking puke that we're seeing every single fucking year at the beginning of each new NASCAR season. It's a bunch of fucking nonsense, man. Maybe that's just the racing purist in me, but it's how I fucking feel. Eric Eastep put out his review a little earlier. It said that, if you think that some people say, wrecks are not entertaining. Bull. Wrecks are always entertaining. Oh, really? Well, let me ask you something, Eric. You really think it's entertaining for all the teams that have to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars to have these cars repaired? Let me go one step further with that, okay? Would you think that a wreck is entertaining if someone gets injured or killed in one of these wrecks? Huh? You think that, watching Dale Earnhardt get killed in the 2001 Daytona 500, was that fucking entertaining? Okay? You think I thought it entertaining when I watched Dan Weldon lose his life in front of my eyes in Las Vegas in 2011? Huh? I thought it was fucking fun when I watched Justin Wilson get nailed in the head with a piece of debris in 2015 and succumb to his injuries less than 24 hours later? You think that shit's fucking fun to watch? Come off the bullshit, Eric. You would not be saying the exact same fucking thing if anybody was seriously injured or killed in these wrecks, and you fucking know it. So don't lay that bullshit on me. Go watch a fucking demo derby or a figure eight race if you're into that sort of shit. Because that's not what I look for when it comes to my fucking auto racing. Sorry that my standards are a little bit higher than yours. And I'm not just referring to Eric, I'm referring to everybody who thinks that crashes are an entertaining part of the fucking race. Your standards for a fucking auto race must be down to the fucking ground level if you think that's what you need to have an entertaining fucking race. You know, go fucking figure. I mean, we're not even to the fucking beginning of the season yet, and I'm already fucking pissed off. 3 fucking months of waiting, and I'm greeted by this fucking bullshit. I'm fucking embarrassed to be a NASCAR fan today. I really am.
I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tea.
3 fucking months of waiting,
Chocolate starfish.
and this is what I'm greeted with.
Scat you, little twat.
You know, and I realize that it's just a fucking exhibition race, you know, and I will, one thing I will give credit to is that last year, you know, these drivers were just deciding, you know, let's just be a bunch of pussies and just ride in single file. There was a lot of it in this case this year, but at least when it got down to crunch time, these guys were starting to try to make moves and all this stuff. The problem is, they just decided, instead of throwing like calculated moves, they just threw caution to the wind, you know, and it was just, I don't know. But, you know, NASCAR keeps touting these guys as the best drivers in the world, and what we saw today was anything but. It looked like something we would see on a fucking local short track demolition derby. You know, the fact that Eric Jones won in a car whose nose, okay, typically you have a sloped nose. His nose was like this. How that radiator was not punctured at any point in time when he got that damage is beyond me. And he was involved in like 2 or 3 separate wrecks. Only 6 fucking cars finished this race out of 18. There were only 4 on the lead lap, and only 1 car legitimately had next to no damage. And he wasn't the one who won the fucking race. Go figure. I mean, it's just... I'm gonna have a fucking stroke. I mean, I'm going to literally have a fucking stroke over this goddamn sport one day.
Your butt. Your butt.
You know, and I had a whole review lined up for this race, but quite frankly, this race doesn't deserve a full fucking review from me, because this race was fucking trash. It really was. I mean, this race is worthless. It's nothing but a bunch of fucking puke, steaming pile of trash, nuclear garbage, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This race was garbage. And I can't stand it. I can't stand watching, you know, fucking garbage displays like this. These are supposed to be the best drivers in the world, and they look like a bunch of fucking amateurs on, you know, and from the fucking ARCA series. It was fucking amateur hour out there. And you want to try to tell me these are the best drivers in the world? You know, any random motherfucker would watch this race for the first time and be like, man, these guys aren't the best drivers in the world. They suck ass. You honestly think that's a good look to put on for a potential audience? Think about that for a second. I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, you know, I mean, and here's the thing. The middle portion of the race when, you know, we had the fuel mileage shit, I mean, that was actually pretty interesting because you had guys that were, you know, leading the field and then they were dropping back because they were like, oh, we need to, you know, save fuel. I mean, that stuff was interesting. And then when the second pack caught up with the first, I was like, oh shit, it's on now, you know. And that's when that portion of the race I enjoyed, you know, because it's like, oh my god, we could see some really good racing. But as soon as Joey Logano threw that block on Kyle Busch, that's when this descended into absolute fucking madness, shit show level. And you know what, This calls for the sound effects machine. Ready? Shit show level. That's what I think of that. Yeah. So, yeah, I had a whole review lined up, but quite frankly, this race doesn't deserve a full-fledged review. I mean, only 3 cars were in that first caution of the day, and Brad Keselowski even ripped on his own teammate for making that block because, you know, he's seen it one too many times where, you know, someone tries to throw a crazy fucking block, and this wasn't the only block we saw that was ill-advised. I mean, on the next to last fucking restart, Kyle Larson tried to throw a block on Chase Elliott, and that resulted in another fucking wreck when there was only 6 goddamn cars on the track. Like, how the fuck does that happen? And then the stupidity reached absolute nuclear levels when on, I believe it was the first green-white checkered restart. I'll look through my notes, not for the review, but no, the first green-white checkered was when Hamlin lost a right rear tire when he was leading because he had received damage from the Logano, Busch, and Kes debacle. He actually got a tire rub, and the tire rub actually cut into the tire, and he lost control in front of everybody and caused another massive accident. That one was not, you know, on him. That was more mechanical failure than anything else. That wasn't due to, like, driver stupidity, which was a la mode in this fucking race. It was actually the second caution before all the green-white checkered shit where Newman spins the tires, actually loses control of the car, and so does William Byron, and basically stacked everybody fucked up and just completely wrecked everybody. You know, and then they had to issue a red flag after, you know, Hamlin loses his tire. And then, like I said, Chase Elliott had a chance to win the race, had to run to the inside in turn 3, but Larson tried to block and, you know, caused another accident. Newman actually took the white flag in this race, believe it or not, but Denny Hamlin, who was laps down, actually pushed Eric Jones's car to the finish. I mean, there were 7 pure lead changes in this race, but I think like 5 of them were people dropping from the lead to the back to save fuel. So you can't really rely on that number too much.
Your butt.
But there's really not much to review here. I mean, the first portion of this race, you know, was single file bullshit. You know, same as we've seen the past couple years. Started to look much like the same at the beginning of, you know, the 50 lap segment. Of course, when the two groups drew back together, that's when the race started to pick up. You know, it's like, oh, this is the best part of the race. But from, you know, the Logano block on, this race was nothing but a fucking shit show. So my final rating for this race, 0 out of 10. Fuck this race. I know a lot of people are probably going to call me crazy, but I don't fucking care. You know, I watch this sport for the fucking racing. The side-by-side racing. You know, the skill that it takes to set up a pass and complete it. You know, to outrun your fucking opponent, you know? I actually get fucking joy out of that. I enjoy the strategy that goes into these races as well, which stages to a lesser extent have fucking ruined for the most part. You don't really see strategy all that much anymore. So, yeah, this race gets a fucking 0 out of 10, and it also gets this sound effect. You ready for this one? Because this is my favorite. That pretty much sums up my feelings on this race. Fuck this race in the ass. Let's bury it and never talk about it again. It can go fuck itself straight to hell. And that's all I got to say about that. And if people don't like it, well, make your own fucking review show and give your opinion. You know? Makes no difference to me. Anywho, that's going to do it for this first episode of The Fuel in 2020, already spitting fucking fire. I really hope this is not how this season is going to turn out, because if that's the case, This is going to be a long fucking year in NASCAR for sure. Well, that'll do it for this edition. Not much of a show here today, only about 15 minutes long, but I mean, this race fucking was garbage. You know, from the god awful racing in the first part to the god awful driving in the second part. Bunch of fucking puke. Bunch of nonsense, and I really don't have time for it. So, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out. Hopefully the Daytona 500 is not like this, because if it is, God help us all.
You better like and subscribe or face the consequences. You have been warned.